Biden just released his plan for presidency. He wants to wipe out global terrorists that threaten to harm Americans.
The fight on terrorism has always been important, especially in America.
He wants to dismantle human trafficking networks.
From what it sounds like a great idea.
These things all sound great, and they definitely are making me lean more towards Biden.
Okay, so here's the question. Is it the plan or the man? College students react positively to the president's agenda when told the ideas were those of Joe Biden. Campus Reform Correspondent Ophelie Jacobson joins me now with their reaction when the truth is actually revealed. This is so fascinating. So none of these students that you talked to knew that you were talking about President Trump's policies and his plans if reelected, correct?
That is right. Good morning, Jillian. Thank you so much for having me on. You know, we talked to 14 students at the University of Florida, and we got a variety of responses, and all of them were very quick to support the initiatives when they were Biden's. But when I told them that they were actually Trump's accomplishments, they were pretty surprised. And I think one of the most concerning things about this video is the fact that they were willing to support these initiatives without even questioning the statements that I was giving them. You know, at the Leadership Institute's Campus Reform, we do these videos with the hopes that students will start to think for themselves and stop going along with what the majority says. My generation has a tendency to just go along with what everyone is doing and what seems right. But it's time that college students take the initiative to really start thinking for themselves.
Okay, so let's go ahead and play a little clip here of their reactions when they find out. This is actually part of the Trump agenda. Watch this.
In this time, not a lot of the good that he does is heard. It does help knowing that that he is doing these things.
Surprised me a little bit because I don't have the highest opinion of the president at the time, but I think that's great.
I think everyone, including myself, could be a little more looking at the policies of the president rather than their character.
Wow. Okay, so that's the question then. How do you get younger folks, college students, whatever age group, how do you get them to want to actually learn more about politics? Not just listen to what the phrase says, not just listen to what their friends say, but to actually do the research and the homework.
Well, I think it's important to recognize that 2020 is an election year. For me, I will be voting for the first time in November for a presidential candidate, and I know a lot of students will be doing just the same. This is an election that is going to be based on the facts. So students need to get out and do their own research and search for facts and honestly compare Trump's second-term agenda with his accomplishments and compare that with that of Joe Biden's. Because at the end of the day, college professors are not doing their job. They're not telling students both sides of the story. So students need to take that initiative outside of the classroom to do their own research. College is a great time for students to start thinking independently, and I think it's important that students start to do this right away.
Do you think that their students are allowed to think independently on a lot of campuses?
You know, a lot of students told me that this was the first time that they were hearing about these accomplishments. One student told me that I really threw him for a loop, meaning that he probably never heard about these accomplishments from the Trump administration. I know for me, in one of my classes last semester, my professor asked students, if the president of the United States were to walk through these doors, who would actually be willing to listen to what he had to say? And unfortunately, I was the only student to raise their hand. So students aren't really willing to listen to the opposing viewpoint, and professors aren't willing to teach about it either. And it's really concerning.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much for sharing this with us, Ophelie Jacobson. It was really interesting. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yep.